On this note, Mama Akaba, Ediaba Punch, Jumadi, so Yumbre, and paying for members of parliament, Minu, I anyone, Edi Juma, Punch, Jumadi, so Honorable Alexander Akwasi Aqua, Achim Oda, member of parliament, ha, and Yumbre. Honorable Memoajo,
Menu am Joso,
na empom to say,
when you made them soon to your
na constituency
so dear, Yamiada Roma, Bibia Edadin. Yenim asem ni bridge there ato achem da afi mu nyina April 5th in the Subitoye a pa schools awodo so September 13th na eja etomu nyame adom etimi atri adofo no mu ere ema emu a wo se aban de ma mu nyina no wo de amom akabi nsu egusu de akiri a ye hwede aboa wo
bedase menko Honorable Sulemana Adama, member of parliament for the time constituency. Honorable Majo. Na empom to say.
Nyame adom boko.
Okay, constituency boko de.
Constituency boko.
Edo body ase. Okay. So enyumbre any pay inform you members of parliament when him say a Tuesday and I'm rashe bedwam or shasi say war debate and answer war discuss aban enhyehyeye a wode akoto emra shebadwa for enim se woni ho abobo se wogitu mu a na every January bosome na ekosi na December no aban sikasem ho nhyehyeye na wogi atom na debate no akọ center and answer akogina se aban se wode electronic transaction levy eba ene ho ensensem but other areas a budget no so ewoma ye beka ho asem anwumre but ye hyase was e-transaction levy a ban esusu se ode ba ebetimi aboa na aban enya sika na ode aye enhyehyeye a ebeboa na Ghana so adiye minority forces sabra ye wom sisie ene kwan aban fa so obeji sika we ya de emwa nti ebe ya enya ade a won obefo asade eso onkrofo a waben a wawedare ewo economics and finance civil society individuals organizations ache won adwen ebesusu se saa to we no abeya de ase epel se yempel eno pa na beboa amayetimi enya sika ye de beboa oman Ghana nembom percentage and as a threshold no ewo sorodo nti abeya aban entiso ebesusu se da bi aban withdraw kra na aban koye ni homework na on package na in future no na aban e de aba na sabra yi wo media enyembra e wo sa aban de sa tuyi eba ebisusu aka se na aban hwe other areas na on expand na on pesca na sa to we de aman bi atry anyeji enti no dua ntikuma atrase ayewe kokwa na nsi atrase adi a wanya problem ni se ntikuma eben ho kra anwumbre mpanfo mienu den na woka efasa e-transaction no kra ye den ade ene ho nsunsanso ewo mabenko honorable Sulemana hona membisa honorable de enti na aban ye nhyehyeye ebeboa na aban ye nya sika innovative way aban de benya tax na ode aboa Ghana na Ghana nso ya hyehye ne yie na mo se monti ase minority in parliament
minu ya medase mefa kwanya we so achia time for nyina ene bono region nyina se ene NDC for nyina na mede se minu ya kase wakase oman bia ni ho a entimi ebetimi ahyekere man no abraye ngeto ye free assembly amre bia kan ya no ho se taxation lazy man's approach se obi a oye kwadwofo aban oye kwadwofo na ojeje tax free na manfo ho ye nyina ya basa realization no ne to so biom say enye first time wa finance minister Ewura Kenoforata a present budget ni sabi aban we free ase second term of President Nando this is the second budget or the aba na who say March or the buy no na taxes wom ya pass tax ni nyina efisa na ya adwen ni say yare kodiewo yaba wohwe health recovery levy covid health recovery levy ya de buy ya aban rational or the buy ni say ye pesika de adane ye ho afiri yare no sene ema yare no de ahokyere baaye nti ye gitu mu na menua kan se enam se covid ni nti aban ntimi angege to no amana nkoyie efi se adwuma sem ne nyoma menua far from accurate efi se aban taxes are 2021 we ojiji ye no it is not based on amount for adwuma aban taxes no were based on petroleum products obia consuming what does it be adwuma obi nya adwuma aban de 2021 budget e buy ya March ya present ye or the 1% COVID-19 recovery levy ebeto VAT so na 3% VAT no e man call 4%. It was collected whether people had job or people did not have job. About the COVID-19 have levy of 2.5% and also to NHIL no so e no free 3.5 e free 2.5 e record 3.5. About the financial sector cleanup levy ebeto ye banks no so 5% to banks so abanji either people had job or they did not have job. Aban sign taxi yen 20 pesos energy sector recovery levy ewo diesel any petrol so in the same budget or Sunday 10 pesos energy sector recovery levy for any LPG bia obetobia aban e no so eto so and I the sanitation levy for boiler tax and so buy and also you're charging with diesel and petrol so all these products are making inelastic demand whether we like it or not. You put fuel in your car and the government had resources. So exactly the problem of the minority, and they say it is not the number of taxes or the better man for no so because your basis ejina the preamble of budget na ban kasa present you know page 9 of budget introduction you know yura kenesurata essay me can bro for me or say Mr. Speaker almost 2 years ago me can chapter 4 million to bet my head there no almost 2 years ago Ghana confirmed its first case of COVID-19. Since then, efforts to contain the virus and its impact on our lives have dominated the actions of government, not only here in Ghana, but across the globe. The COVID-19 pandemic, which swept through the world, has appended and exposed the weaknesses in some of the critical structures and systems in education, in health, in economic life, communities, and everyday life. Abanankasa say, in our education, in our health, and more importantly, in our economic life, COVID-19 no abe ravaging. Ama hochiraba. In 2021, abane taxes buy. Ghana for can wansem. Now you resume with abane say we need to recover. Abane jitum say lives have deteriorated. Obia the life na kofem no. Do we tax those people? We don't. And that rationale no and ye gina so say emre we enyemra e was abande ne broni fa ni e-levy especially any charges na ewo fees and charges mo a ekosoro by at least 15% no enuntia minority no insist say this is not the time 2021 no ye ma the lazy to go to get a fiscal space sana be obetimi age tax ojeji ye enti ye say taxes na ye de aman no it is enough for now until say yen nyina covid no be gya yen ebe ko from ama obi atima na adwuma sane oye ni olusu na adwuma be nya adwuma na afi Ghana for no nyina ho to so a yen nyina ya tena ase na afi sa o pesa di e-levy ne ba ya package ni ye na why the consultations ye but se sia no enyoma na ewo levy no ho em say ye be ka ho asema ko details nyoma na ewo ho no eye nyoma enya de ebe boa Ghana for nti aban pa on withdraw minority ankasa budget ni nyina na yen nyintum yes say certain part of the budget including the e-levy no enya de a ebe boa Ghana for enunti a ye pose no
beba hobi mi ba na bibisa sa mobo aban sobo sa aban bobosia dodo aban susu se ye bobosia dodo na ne ye mpese be kwa akogye bosia because bosia bo no se no interest na da so no mpo ekosoro enti no yemfa kwan ya yebetimi afa soso ne mobilize ska wo kroma na ye de aye oman ne ye na mo se da bia na kwan ben e na aban no mo pese onfa so a obetimi a mobilize adequate resources a yebetimi de aboa na time constituency nipa e wo ho ene ada aban commitment onye ska wo de be me ba na ehwesa de. Honorable, is that what you want to do? Because Honorable Sulemana when you na drink. Honorable, yeah, say the question I me yes me ba we ya na mam say. What can say? Aban no bosia oje ne baby a ode ye kono. Ode ye wura hepeka anisa. Enti na aban borrowing no on poso and I say on hold on. Now aban say okay, matina say mahu say o man bia timi konkan ya wetu mpom bia na gisa ne mindful na no etiti won sa se taxes na wode abo ho ebra enunti me hwe means a metimi afa so a meje taxes a ewo abefo kwan so a eye guaranteed si ebenye sky ti says kadwitiri die na ye de a build on mine. Now some muslim ma bank obobosia na ban say okay my invest so much electronic transaction my setting outside this mobile my interoperability ni ekeka wa drum bre a omo ye telcos no omo je 1% ti mi so bi nko ho na mi so bi nko taxi bi na ye mobilize can fanya Ghana ye no so mo se da bi enti kosi ankosi koda aban no onye den
me da siminia na ansa na me call question no so no minu e kasa na me hwe na asem bi o kan ye me nwanwa kakra em say mistake repeated twice a decision say obi eyem from so me no a decision asema odi na no boss so say communication minister can say omo to me transfer 100 and over omo nye poor wa repeat wa ha for me it is in bad taste if you say the fact say obi timi ye adwuma there are people who are cobblers omo pam paboa bi mu ton pure water e bi mu there are people who are down there they work themselves out emano nye rich so timinya send 100 cities emano nye rich kamia me say minimum MPP 40 so ba bi na Ghana 40 fem enti omu Ghana for economic situation first one no ne toso mienu se minu ya kan say momo no electronic tax no ye NDC for na dey twist to so say ye nyomo bebre na ye momo nko a enye no kre page 82 of the budget statement you can offer be presented you know any this for na dey buy after all the preamble all be presented all be can electronic tax no or see Mr. Speaker after considerable deliberations government has decided to place a levy on all electronic transactions to widen the tax net and rope in the financial sector. This shall be known as the electronic transaction levy. Basauko chapter 316 or bechirechro enyoma ebe cover. Also, Mr. Speaker, electronic transactions covering mobile money payments, that is 1. Bank transfers, that is 2. Merchant payments, that is 3. And inward remittances, 4, will be charged at an applicable rate of 1.75%, which shall be borne by the receiver, except inward remittances, which will be borne by the recipient. And any NDC for any DB come home, a minister na say bank transfers, inward remittances, merchant, momo, 9, 4, and a ode sa taxes on etoso. And a preamble was on the baby say because nipa kakra bi and a burden of taxation in Ghana. And or the tax in so to make sure say informal sector also or don't become home. Nina the preamble in the manifesto in the budget and also Nyamina America a minister Neka. And also cry another issue. If you say nipa na also omo ye burden no. They who have the money, they are more likely. We are more likely to send more money to other people. And as I speak, I have done Momo about 4 times. to the amount of almost 2,000. Nipa na also over 100 cities on your poor no. For all you know, he'll be able to send only 100 cities. But me, former taxes, former system, mutual tax, I am coming to pay more. And it doesn't bring equity. Taxation must come with equity. And it's a person of solve the equity issue. Then it has failed. And this is for the can say. We have given the government enough taxes to be able to do no more person. Who beside me direct question say, the buy must plug the loopholes. It is very unfortunate. Standing orders, other people no be what. Last session, this particular session, every blessed day, there is a request for waivers. 11 million, 34 million, 134 million in Ghana cities, sometimes in euro city equivalent of eno. And other people also know there is a request for 11 million euros, Ghana city equivalent. Waivers. Let's plug that loophole. The Auditor General's report actually say financial irregularities, payroll irregularities, and in Yoma Ekosono as Ghana aboka 12 billion, almost 13 billion Ghana cedis. So you electronic levy na afibia ebemayen almost 6 billion. Ebemayen 6 billion. So if you're able to plug the loopholes our system no more, we have given the government enough taxes. And taxes in 2020. And it is not taxes our budget. It is plugging the loopholes our system no. And you'll be able to do some of the things about person no. And this in the in fact, in the argument in Parliament, you see the budget is whole. Anytime the thing is whole, now because you pass it policy document. The one we pass this budget, you pass it everything.
Now, any pass we are and I'm over subject sectorial allocations by budgetary way apportionment into scrutiny. Now, why at that stage now, maybe I'm betting me variation.
Lawyer, the moment we pass the electronic levy, we have passed it. There will be estimate from the different departments and agencies under the MDAs, but policy document, and not the spine. So if you pass the taxes in the what will come as estimate is how they are going to use taxes now into areas of development and goods in person in your man for our part. Until we can't isolate the e-levy, the charges from the other good component of the budget. So question now beside it is the onus is on the government. Look at what civil society is saying. Look at what individuals are saying. Look at what the opposition. It's not always that the opposition is wrong. Look at what the opposition is saying and go back and come back. If the government goes and come back, all of a sudden they pass it 2021 budget. We are prepared to do, but for the moment in its form, in its current form, and to because to budget naturally into the dustbin. For me, it's an expression that tells you that we can't separate the wheat from the chaff.
Momonya prepare some over compromise on this. Like civil society for be can say, okay, for a start, maybe 1.75%. It was short to do. And Bianca mine started with 1%, and I started with 1.2%, and I say on started with 1.1%. When you're ready, some over compromise on the threshold, can I say the name electronic levy in a month per se. More better one some crime, more posting that way.
We are a responsible position. Obia ni hwa why na adwen say ntimi no kan sim na be me nwa say yesi enya yenya na omo nkopase na omulusu. It is not about elections. It is about the welfare of the people. Nti asama wo kan abana ye na adwen say he's coming to sit down and say I'm going to review some of the things and onye na adwen. Sabana ye na adwen ne say I am going to review the budget. All the day kasa ye can say they must do some review of the budget. But in this current form, we think there is something wrong. And it's Abano and say, oh, my dream one who said, these portions of the budget needs amendment. And then he does the consultation that he needs to do. Why not? And because we have done some before, we'll be able to do. And for me, and yet cast in stone. There are good things in the budget. Nobody can say, please. Honorable. There are good things in the budget, but that is our duty to point out the ones that will impoverish Ghanaians. Because there are bad things. If you remove the bad things, you see the good things in the budget. Me, for instance, personally, I will tell you, so any attempt to create employment for the teeming youth, unemployed youth, is a good attempt. I will never say any attempt like you start. It is not new. It is not new. It is YES. It is NEIP. NIR branding. They are good in branding and calling different names. It is nothing new. If you are giving them the opportunities, the opportunity. Fine. But it doesn't mean, say, if they are good things and there are bad things that will outweigh the good things, we shouldn't talk about it.
Before I make honorable, say you start, for instance, you have a detailed analysis. Osha buying projections. Sika buying person or mobilize between January and December 2022. And then our this can be near my pa. Now, buying so able to E-level in a man sika and we drew out the bay to send our say, ABI you start and then as if we now we are no sign if you are now buying bay then we implement some good aspects of the budget now. Okay.
When you answer me, it's outrageous for any government to think, say, in one fiscal year, obey increasing revenue by 44%. That is what this budget tells us. If you read the budget on improving in fiscal framework, any resource mobilization, paragraph 250 to 254, government wants to increase revenue by 44% from the very people who are actually and say they are almost struggle because of the effect of COVID. No, so ufiti preocupe epo moja beba. And the government is unrealistic. What they are doing is an unrealistic projection. Because 77% of Nyomo Kano is domestic revenue, non-tax revenue, and not just a non-oil revenue, not just a taxation. And untia, Abane say, where ye news and tax, or buy not to say Abane say where ye news and taxes in 2017. Now you release news and taxes which will not be up to 10. Then you want to increase fees and charges almost 29,000. Every one of them, every government institution, from technical universities to public universities to health facilities to all facilities, charges will go up. DVLA, everything, it will go up by 15%. It's a audacious tax measures and it will clearly cripple Ghanaians.
Honorable Sulemana Adama, Member of Parliament for the time constituency in the Bono region, and our channel Etieno, our Kessben television and on Kessben radio. Honorable,
say, Emre Obisa me say, at Hena by Benyasika, at the Aya Nyoma or Kaya, make catcher say, it is and yet say resources in my room. Mini Casano come 1D1F, or 1D1F Sucia, say, Abana ya de or the Nyomani be 1D1F. Oko budget we Ancasamua. Oko key issues of budget. One of the key issues of budget is Aban say, Obo number no so, and it's also in the budget. Say, mami, 1 minute. Or say 278, one district, one factory project and a cost totally. 106 in operation, 148 under construction, and 24 a pipeline. But when you know, this is industrial development. If really the 1D1F a year Juma, we should get a positive growth in the industrial sector. But if you go to the budget, a catcher will say, industrial sector grew by minus 3.1%. And the say the policy direction is wrong. So
is it not because of COVID?
If it is
in the industrial sector, and is it not because of COVID? We are seeing a growth targets be achieve.
Are buying a rolling out this audacious industrial project because COVID affected us because of international shocks, and it is the reason why the government decided to say the teeming youth. I want my no. Yempa Juma Momo through the 1D1F And if truly government is telling us that 106, 1D1F in operation, 24 in the pipeline, 278 under construction, why are we having a negative growth? And we are giving problem. They say we are even giving them waivers, which is so huge to an area where we are growing negative.
Okay.
No, me patro hold me chim kaka. Like we said, COVID industries as a fire. If you want to mean external shocks and a my effect of COVID, we also suffered COVID here. And yes, baby, and COVID no baby near Kase, no, most of this industry did not even get into production. They didn't get into production. But what we are saying is, SAR 1D1F. And they are buying more what they buy because all the monies that were supposed to be taken as taxes are year wave our companies we need. And they encourage a man for amaba. Now say me call the way you hormo company be the way Famanova. Uko investment a why you it's over $35 million. Ubi sansa ade was 1DYF na attract no. Otherwise, that can sign investment or kwako India.
Okay. Abono nkrapa honsima mienu ewo Punch Jumadie so ewo Kessben television. We are also live on Kessben radio 93.3 ewo Asante Mandem ene Nimpotam 92.9 ewo Nkran Mantem ene ne Mpeswa so aka sanso na live on YouTube, Facebook and other social media handles. Here during Ghana ho ewo budget 2022 ajenkwa budget ene ndema ewum eho asem ene ye ka de ba ko a budget assign ababo ntia ochina ebinum kra se wo ye ho demonstration fix the country for so wo ye ho demonstration no eye na friend benchmark value policy no now nipa pi ayo confused se eno no eye den ebisi o ye yi free ho amane ma bia ye be kraba bia affect no ebisi da bi ye ye free ho na selected projects be there selected product be there eno na nya de a aban no ye free ho so that sa selected products no o kraba e ya de a obetua the tax na wo se utua e wo ho e de enti an Association of Ghana Industries e gba aban abaso omo nde omo yo 61st conference on International Conference Center Saturday obeye on dinner the same International Conference Center AGI for say sa benchmark value policy na aban dey about budget no ya dey awo bo aban abaso pa say aban adwen Ghana ho aban ya de uko guta for say sa policy we aban say oye free we e dey asembeba ayese koku frimpon e dey asembeba eyeden ade edenti na ebi oppose edenti na ebi so one of member ho benchmark value policy na aban say or the budget no na wo ho e na aban ye say wa suspend e na say aban say or sign e de aba eba in full form eba in limited form and I say form be na de ba na yeden ade impact ben ne benya e wo sa na nema na ya affect na our friend Honorable Alexander Kwesi Akwa na he's doing a TV program munya na we program na on bekasa me call Honorable Sulemana Adama ona menye na nche on this benchmark evaluate no and so mo problem na yede
meaning generally meaning I say obey explain into aban e benchmark na free ho but the bottom line no e revenue somebody can actually say aban say onya 44% increase in revenue enti for me, it is not because of product you want to substitute waha. And the government want to protect the local industries. Because it is just like 2 years ago, and I buy any product buy. So the market I want to increase revenue. Non-tax revenue, non-oil revenue, a cost by almost 70 million. And to so baby budget no can benchmark and once more. A chapter paragraph 299 na obo vehicle de so my question is say 32 items one listed all the 32 items in the budget but obo vehicle so also after 2.5 years of operation the temporary benchmark into bracket discount policy on imports introduced as a stopgap measure will be reviewed to make it more efficient and targeted. The review will align the policy with current development needs to protect the environment, local industry, strengthen public safety, and support public health. The review will cover vehicle and selected general goods. Meaning, you're gonna have your vehicles or hana.
Yeah, some bubu.
Yeah, some vehicle. We don't do vehicle.
Oh.
We assemble vehicle, and I'm telling you, the assembling company in Ghana. If you are removing the benchmark because you are protecting the assembly company in Ghana, meaning you know it is not possible. You know that policy will not achieve the intended purpose. So you want to put the benchmark there to restrict people from importing cars. It's not possible. Unim say, President, ade we two jano. Yen yo mo ewo aboso kan. Yen yo mo ewo magazine. Omo se omo ni je emre na ye di benchmark no. Discount no to so no. Enei ena mamu so no is a wheel. Enti se ba ko chia, obo se kan ba ko chia. Fine. Association of Ghana Industry omoni aji. But be rest assured, say traders are also not happy. And for me, it is all part of the government revenue measures or deba. Only say about the testing waters before a budget never read, you know. About the testing waters, about the year you might be Emma good for no. Actually, say, young China ready budget, no. They made an appeal, but also young China budget and a bar. Budget and a bar, no. And koya momo. Some of these things because not a so that and I buy a baby free so. It is some of the things that yeah can want some no. Say, I buy revenue measures to be able to rake in the revenue to be able to get its target. But oh yes, balance it. Send a bear. AJF for near general. I was a good for Sunya Bibi Kakra.
Okay. In 3 years, 1 million jobs to be created commencing March 2022. Now, Sanshi, our budget seems Honorable Alexander Kosi Akamenko, Honorable Sulemana Adama, Namenyana on this issue. Honorable.
Mina Medasi, I'm say, send youth unemployment asem, send a threat to Yankasa democracy near security. Now, who the extent to which youth unemployment is a problem. Na say you security services no omo try so omo recruitment. Now when numbers, the huge numbers ne omo anya kwan cry kire say it's an issue that should not be politicized at all. Any issue I was the idea politics cry. Me nu start ye and I know budget debate. Me who say on a debate efa you start ho. I may expect because he made some important points over the floor of parliament. And I may expect it. But to start say, yeah, unemployment association. I dare say today, say, there are more unemployment youth today than there were in 2016. I dare you, I am telling you. The budget statement tells us, say, we have 12% youth unemployment. Budget statement we are at the money. In 2016, we had 8% youth unemployment, and now you are 12%. So today, there are more unemployed youth in Ghana than there were in 2016. I am telling you, there are more unemployed graduates in Ghana than there were in 2016.
No, so the percentage in the year. Look at the base. You share number of people, statistics. Nipa never Ghana, then, and there. It is an energy to be rising to 12%. Based on the base, I would and the idea is, say you're very prevalent. Come on, association.
Unti oh, na kisa muna mukosha omachi omukreti. Nya na akosha omachi. Na hada na asi ye na akosha omachi.
Ebia bo percent mo equalize, some of the equalization there.
More. Media. Back to my point. University graduates will not be happy when you make a statement say there are problems. There are more youth unemployment. It should be depoliticized. It should be apolitical.
That I agree with
very,
you.
very important.
Yes.
And but the fire no is slippery. If you say, because Unim said, for one of the things that area presented budget, I was happy with him. One of the few areas I was happy with him was his statement said, previous government have all made attempts to solve this problem. Every omampani that have Rollins and omampani kufa penso or the youth employment agency buy
honorable budget to say I am here or youth unemployment and to say mudie.
Oh,
the effort to that they recorded effort.
Minia
There be honorable.
I am share
a recorded effort.
Meaning I am share is based on what you churn out. And allow me, my main far point to be mra. Youth employment program na mo buy no. For the buy no. Ye buy no. Ye tremu.
Yes.
We pick more people than the initial stage of Mampani for the buy no. In fact, NAPCO was a component under youth employment, but it was not called NAPCO. Anytime I catch them, I say you are good as sloganeering and names because there was a component for graduate students under the youth employment program in 2015-2016. You promised them say more can say for 100,000, even though figures are our budget did not support that because you can't pick 100,000 and then you budget for 400 million and then expect to build offices and pay 700 Ghana cedis a month. Even for a year, it could not. So clearly, it was not 100,000. Be it as it may, Mufanipa. You promise them, say, and you start and here very important. You promise them, say, when you finish, you give them permanent employment. Zana mo promise it napku for no. And now I'm not here. And by yet no catch and say some of them have been employed in the public service. About 32,000 of them have been employed. And then on 1 month employment, they will be supported to enter the youth start program. And the say policy dialogue, policy nyoma edebano. The outcome of the policy is the most important thing. When you bring the policy, don't start belating. Let's all support and make this youth start possible. 3 key components that you start in for me, what is very critical for us, training, funding, and enterprise promotion.
Yes.
Training, funding, and enterprise promotion critical because minister say some people, minister for finance, or can know also some people don't have the requisite training from the various institutions. You know, one of the key issues that affecting credit and funding because there are people with beautiful ideas but how to get the money. In trying to create entrepreneurs, I am happy to say they will get, some people can get as much as 50,000 to be able to start their own employment, to be able to employ people. But you tokenism. Say a bigger number of people will get some small quantity. We are giving money to people, and we beg you, send a minor from 2017, ABC 2021. You start nedia. Monya say Ghana for Obia or qualify bia. I am promising you say COVID sikana moche no. You shared it to party apparatchiks. I am telling you. I am telling you. You gave it to constituency executives. Party apparatchiks. To be able to share.
No.
You start.
I can tell you. I am on the trade committee. I am telling you. A lot of us. But we could not. We opened it up.
You did it. You did that way.
System. Everything. I'm telling you, most of the employees are in charge officers, business assistant centers for no. They know the system. I'm telling you, some of us it affected our votes. Because NDC for kind, they benefited, but because Ghana for what I say, and that is why and then be near computer. Wouldn't how I affect here. You go for to me say Mukotua move first and Kotuaba, Monka computer sem. Bibi Bana say, yeah, Chedia, Musumunko Filo computer so. Ya by no, yen shimu.
Minia, all the recruitment and your my year government policies, government initiatives about employment and opportunities in I am telling you, say it's been skewed to the members of MPP. But for you start, if you want this project to succeed, please make it a political. Let people go there based on their merits. No, so for me, it's a good initiative that must be supported. It must be decoupled from the e-levy, from the charges, and then we can come back and have conversation about it.
Mesdames, honorable members of parliament, honorable Alexander Kwesi Aqua, member of parliament for Achim Odam constituency, Honorable Sulemana Adama, a member of parliament for the Time constituency in the Bono region. Now, my messages, making kind of member back to the studio. Message it says, where is the jobs the MPP promised us but delivered we the youth jobless by collapsing individual business like the GN Indum Company, etc. Can Kaka inside Takwa sense as this
there are perks of office.
Okay.
Sabi and meka when the third time I'm asking me me fear the power me see mu because me were different occasions are excellent idea was a mission Nina sabi utimi mfa ento obi a wache adwuma ata ade ba ko a wo kofi wo koyi no ho egu ho. And let's just do responsible
governance
politics.
is not cheap.
That's it.
Honorable
lawyer. Medasi. Say me no be no can say e be crafted. Enti messages o kan ya efa yewura mampani dada o mampani dada yere. I doubt the authenticity of the letter. If you say Yewura Prosper Bani, he was the chief of staff under President Mills. But Yewura Mahama be president no. Me nimisa na the chief of staff Yewura Eastern region Julius
Prosper served under Mahama.
Be is as it may.
That I know.
Be is as it may. I am surprised here bisa question. If a president na country no ho na let away na akokan. If you say president a country, it is not secret. Any secret. And I'm not here. President Tutu Kwan no, he gave a message to Ghanaians through the Speaker of Parliament to be read.
Yes.
And the president of country, there is no secret about it. No. And it is the people that the president says. The United States president, President Omo democracy, for transparency's sake, they travel with their official airline. All this hula baloo is that our president own you see official airline. And one question about Parliament, anyway, and for me, the people whose taxes send the president there. Nobody has said, say, come and give us details about the president that die, and he no be frako or call bekoha. We are not looking for the itinerary of the president. All that they are looking for is the traveling cost what? Because we want to cut costs. And no one be one some na yekano. And no one be some na yekan tax as say. When we collect the tax, and the president is traveling on a rented jet, I'll bet him the jet, a state jet, a traveler. That is what Ghanaians are saying. Because more mutual tax, if they don't have the right to know, a top secret, I don't think there's any top secret about presidential travels. And for me, nobody is demanding for any security issues ever affected the trade. Everybody wants to protect the president. Nobody wants his president to be affected by any security. But traveling costs, I don't think it's a security concern. And that the president must, in all honesty, the presidency must, in all honesty, let Ghanaians know, say, president the travel say the cost. On my answer question, now these nagging issues will go. Because when you start making people say there is something there, people will keep asking the questions every day. And for me, it is nothing. Say apart from question, you could you to file here. Wouldn't say there's another question. I file say President Mahama so tell akonyaso no. Na kwantu no on to 2 years no. And you say there is nothing wrong for me. It doesn't spoil anything. Let Ghanaians know so that omutia levia. Oman who said when they pay their e-levy, the president is going to fly in there.
Okay, so in principle, you want the e-levy, you now say so much e-levy. Say e-levy, then
it is telling Ghanaians when they pay
the something that is good for Ghana.
No, it is telling Ghana when they pay the e-levy, he's going to fly. Otherwise, if he has nothing to hide, he should tell us how much his travels cost. Because as I speak now, president will travel. He will be going to the United States. No money out that even before Obekono. So why hide? Why don't tell Ghanaians this? What will you do to the safety?
Okay, maybe the honorable members of parliament, member was to say now, Mom, final way. Good evening to you, lawyer. Final saying,
Medasiminua. Now, watching a chum in our chum, say Yura, Vice President Baumia, on nam no digitalization agenda, say Ghana for the digital platform. So now the same government, yepese nipa enko digital platforms. So no, taxi for me. Taxing the digital, this e-levy will bring reduction in the use of digital platform. It's not the right way to go. Near Tosumi, so cocoa sika hunsuyan, manganese, gold, coke, everything I hear. Near sika hunsuyan, any borrowing sika hunsuyan, levy will not solve our problems. Besides, and can people be 5 years? Sankoma Gigana send your moka and kabagget to encamp friend Ajinkwa. Obi a bedi in fewnum. A fair now, Ufi a baguette, no, or say Ajinkwa, not just a one casano, what the Kenya Queen, and now Bedi Yankwa. And it shows you clearly say, components of this battle say ye free, and son a baguette to it me Ajma. There's nothing Ajinkwa about baguette to.
Beda Honorable Alexander Akwasi, Aqua Member of Parliament for Akim Oda. Beda Honorable Sulemana Adama Asipa, Member of Parliament for the Time constituency. Sanso ena meda wase enyumbre so ne ya trabra ehase ebepem sabre da ya to adwen e de afaye man Ghana. Discussion no ekoso ewo embrahye bedwam ye de ani ebedi echire ne ya follow ne ekoso ho ne aresa ade on the day no den ne be free mu aba anyumbre ye de dwumadie no ebeso na wotwe sende nyankopon nya adom ne atim kwama ebesan abesom ewo Kessben kasafidie so ewo punch dwumadie so medinga de ohene jan makra